Next question, we are taking equilibrium constants of a homogeneous reaction determined at a different temperature 60 degrees centigrade, 80 degrees centigrade, 100 degrees centigrade and 140 degrees centigrade are 4, zero point 0.4, zero point 0.01 and 0.004 respectively. The data indicates the exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction, reversible reaction, a complex reaction. First of all, you have to observe that as the temperature increases, value of K decreases. So if value of K decreases with the increase in temperature, it means this is an example of exothermic process. As with the increase in temperature, value of Kc decreases, reaction is exothermic, therefore A part is the correct answer. Next question, find out the equilibrium constant Kp for the decomposition of PCl5 if we dissociate to the extent of 80% at 250 degrees centigrade at pressure of 1 atmosphere. Now first of all, we write the equation. PCl5 gas decomposes to form PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas. Initially we take 1 mole of PCl5, 0 moles of PCl3 and 0 moles of Cl2. Let us say X is the degree of dissociation. That is the amount of reactant change into products at equilibrium. So X is degree of dissociation. So PCl5 at equilibrium will be 1 minus X. And X moles of PCl3 will be formed and X moles of Cl2 will be formed. If you want to calculate total number of moles at equilibrium, it will be equal to 1 minus X plus X plus X. It comes out to be 1 plus X. Now at equilibrium, partial pressure of PCl5 we want to find out. Partial pressure of any gas is mole fraction of that gas into total pressure. Mole fraction, how do we calculate? Number of moles of that substance and divided by total number of moles. 1 minus X is the number of moles at equilibrium for PCl5. We divide by total number of moles, that is 1 plus X into total pressure. This gives us the partial pressure of PCl5. In the same way, we calculate partial pressure of PCl3. This is equal to its number of moles divided by total number of moles into total pressure, that is X over 1 plus X into total pressure. Partial pressure of chlorine will be same, X over 1 plus X into total pressure. Now we are going to write the expression for Kp. Expression for Kp will be partial pressure of PCl3 into partial pressure of Cl2 divided by partial pressure of PCl5. So partial pressure of PCl3 is X over 1 plus X into P. Partial pressure of Cl2 is same, X over 1 plus X into P. Divided by partial pressure of PCl5 is 1 minus X divided by 1 plus X into total pressure. P and P will get cancelled. We get X square divided by 1 minus X into 1 plus X. Degree of dissociation alpha or X was given to be 0.8. We substitute the value 0.8 into 0.8 into 1 divided by 1 minus 0.8 into 1 plus 0.8. It is 0.8 into 0.8 divided by 0.2 into 1.8 comes out to be 1.78, which is the correct answer. Now we are going to take up relationship between temperature and equilibrium constant. It is given by Van 't Hoff equation. A is equal to A into E raised to the power minus delta H divided by RT. A is equilibrium constant, A is Arrhenius parameter which depends upon collision frequency. Delta H is enthalpy change, R is gas constant, T is temperature in Kelvin. If we take two equilibrium constant Kp2 and Kp1, the relationship will become log Kp2 over Kp1 is equal to minus delta H divided by 2.303 R into 1 over T2 minus 1 over T1. A is equilibrium constant, A is Arrhenius constant which depends upon frequency factor or collision frequency. Delta H is collision frequency is number of collisions per second. Delta H is equal to heat of reaction or enthalpy of the reaction. R is gas constant which value is 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole. Next we are taking relationship between degree of dissociation and vapor density. For equilibrium reaction, PCl5 gas gives you PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas and N2O4 gas decomposes to form 2NO2 gas. Capital D is vapor density of the gas before dissociation, that is in the beginning, and this is also called theoretical vapor density which is equal to molecular weight divided by 2. Small d is vapor density of gas after dissociation at equilibrium. So the formula is alpha is equal to capital D minus small d divided by n minus 1 into d. What is n? N is the number of moles of products formed from 1 mole of reactants. So in these two reactions, n is equal to 2. If we put n is equal to 2, it will come out to be alpha is equal to d divided by small d minus 1, or d minus d over small d. This is the formula by which degree of dissociation of various compounds on decomposition can be obtained. And here n is very important. If you put n correctly, you can get the correct answer. Now we are going to take up the relationship between equilibrium constant and free energy change. This relation you will also find in class 12th also. Delta G is equal to minus 2.303 RT log Kc. Instead of log Kc, we can also write minus 2.303 RT log Kp. Kc is equilibrium constant in terms of molar concentration. Kp is equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure of gases. This diagram explains how the delta G or Gibbs energy is related to extent of reaction. When delta G is 0, delta G will be 0 when log Kc is 0. When log Kc will be 0 when Kc is equal to 1 or Kp is equal to 1. So if Kc is equal to 1, so the process is in equilibrium. That is delta G is equal to 0. So delta G is equal to 0 represents equilibrium condition that the process is in equilibrium. Now if delta G is less than 1, it means value of K is high or positive. So extent of reaction will be more. That reaction will go towards product side. If delta G is greater than 0, means delta G is positive, so the value of K will become negative. Kc or Kp will become negative. If Kc or Kp are negative, it means reaction goes in backward direction or less products are formed. So with the help of value of delta G and K, we can determine how much extent of reaction has taken place.